Love It or Leave It is an insanely funny, wildly popular, critically beloved, extremely handsome podcast hosted by former Obama speechwriter John Lovett on Crooked Media. Each week, Lovett, that's me, is joined by comedians, journalists, activists, elected officials, and more to break down the latest news with humor, analysis, and light optimism wherever applicable. New episodes drop every Saturday morning. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen.
Welcome to Boardroom Out of Office Podcast with me, Rich Kleiman, entrepreneur and co-founder of 35 Ventures alongside Kevin Durant. Every week I sit down with some of the world's most fascinating thought leaders to bring fans and entrepreneurs alike inside the never-before-heard stories, career trajectories, and key pieces of advice that only come from the kinds of discussions that you can have outside of the office. Listen to Out of Office, a podcast from Cadence 13 and Boardroom, available for free now on Odyssey and wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Welcome back. Joining me now from Hennepin Healthcare, Dr. David Hilden for his weekly check-in. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, Blois.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Things are busy at the hospital, and we have the Department of Defense coming in at Hennepin, where I work.
Yep.
Going to help us out with the hospital crowding. So it's actually a busy week at the hospital, despite the fact that it's Thanksgiving. And I hope everybody does have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys have been busy for 20 months or more. And frankly, Hennepin Medical Center's always busy, if people didn't know that. You know, we talk about COVID. We talk about kind of the strain on staff. We talk about this need for more beds. Are there some other kind of contributing factors right now that are, you know, kind of amplified more than COVID that you're seeing? Because, you know, I keep hearing about COVID cases, but I also hear about, you know, some older Minnesotans who maybe don't have COVID, but they've been lingering with kind of an ongoing issue or something, and they're in the hospital a little longer.
Yeah, it's all of those things, Blois, in reality. There's not just one factor. The biggest factors for why hospitals are so strained right now is COVID, because it's on the rise, and 1 in 10 cases that are being tested come back positive. That's alarming, and that's just alarming. And so in our hospital, although we don't have as many COVID patients as we did 1 year ago, the few dozen that we do have are on top of the other thing, which is people getting sick and hurt from other reasons. Maybe it's because they didn't have their heart failure or their diabetes treated during the pandemic.
Yep.
I think a great deal of it is due to the trauma we're seeing, physical trauma and accidents in the community. And all those things are adding up. And then a third factor, which is really, really significant, is that healthcare workers are burned out at rates that are never been seen before. At least we've never been seen. We survey our physicians and nurses and other staff, and the levels of stress and burnout and lack of well-being are at historic levels for us. And so many are simply leaving the profession. So we've got more patients from COVID and other causes, stressed and burned out doctors and nurses who are looking for other things to do with their life for their own well-being. And it leads to the situation where if you come into the hospital, especially if you're in outstate Minnesota and you need to be transferred to a big hospital, we might not have a bed for you. So we're exceptionally grateful to our federal government partners, to Governor Walz, to to Senator Klobuchar for bringing in Department of Defense medical professional to help us out.
And what kind of roles and jobs will those Department of Defense professionals kind of fill in? And I mean, give people an idea of how they kind of plug into your operation.
Right. We have learned over the past week that, first of all, hats off to the U.S. military. They know what they're doing. They are exceptionally organized in helping us out. They're bringing in mostly nurses, registered nurses, trained. And these are from, I believe we're getting people from the Air Force.
Okay.
We're also getting several doctors, respiratory therapists, and we will simply plug them into units that are short-staffed so that we can decompress our emergency department, get people out of the emergency department into hospital beds to get the care they need. And these people that are coming are trained. They're licensed physicians and nurses. So they're going to be able to hit the ground running, and their first day on the job is Thanksgiving Day.
Well, I am thankful for them. I'm thankful for all the healthcare workers. I think we can all acknowledge, no matter where you're at on your view of COVID, that you guys, people on the front lines, really have been working at unprecedented levels of stress for many years. And I hope at least some of your workers, most of them at least, get one day off to just spend with their family and rest before they go back at it. So,
That's what we're hoping. Thanks so much, Blaise. And everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. I think, that's what people really need in their families right about now. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Sounds great, David. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Blaise.
Yep. Dr. David Hilden from Hennepin Healthcare. It is something to say that we need reinforcements sent in, and we're going to talk about the reinforcements coming in for Minnesota's nursing homes at 7:20 with Senate Majority Leader Jeremy Miller. He is going to kind of lay out what Republicans recommended yesterday before the governor announced his plan, and then where are we going to plug and play the National Guard into nursing homes? That's the real question, because if we need all this extra help, how long can we sustain it? Nursing homes say that there's 23,000 unfilled jobs right now. And if you understand kind of how it works, is if somebody leaves the hospital and they need some continuing care, they usually go to a nursing home. Well, those nursing homes don't have the staff or the capacity right now to carry and to take those extra patients. And so as you think about that, where do we get it? And if there's 23,000 unfilled nursing home jobs in Minnesota, but we're going to offer 400 National Guard members, we're still woefully short on the staffing that we need. And this bottleneck and this, frankly, labor challenge isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So what's the solution? We'll talk to Jeremy Miller at 7:20 about that. Your texts that keep coming in, and we really appreciate them, at 651-461-9226, said, when is the James Taylor? It is Monday. Monday the 29th is James Taylor. It's going to be at Xcel Energy Center, and we're going to give away tickets again next hour. So when you hear James Taylor, you let us know. Callers 8 and 9 will give away 2 pairs of tickets. Blois Olson on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Man, there are a lot of podcasts out there.
Definitely. I mean, there's 3 million shows, 50 million episodes, and more every day.
I mean, who has the time to figure out which ones are the best podcasts?
We do. That's who. What's up, guys? I am Alicia Renee.
And I'm Dax Holt.
And we are your host of Pod Sauce, a podcast discovery show.
Look at us as your podcast concierge.
We do all the work for you. We listen to the shows, review them,
pick the best episodes, and interview the hosts.
Pod Sauce. Let us help you find your next binge. Tell them where to go, Dax.
Go to podsauce.com.
In 1987, a former prosecutor named Margaret Kuhn took her dog for a walk in one of Louisiana's safest and most affluent parishes. The next morning, she was found dead on the side of the road. 34 years later, the crime remains unsolved.
No one is safe.
Listen to Gone South, Season 1, Who Killed Margaret Kuhn? A documentary podcast from C13 Originals. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You've served your country, you're completing your military duty and transitioning back to civilian life, and you've got questions. ConnectingVets.com is waiting to help navigate your return. Find out how to use your GI Bill for education, certifications for today's job market, transitional jobs, and more. ConnectingVets.com even helps the children and family of service members. You served your country with honor, and you deserve the benefits that come with service. Find job and education resources and much more at ConnectingVets.com.